Arena of Valor fans, you are watching НАGllory Premier League. I am Anihi of Amnispira, your tournament organizer. This league is going to be an epic 9 weeks of round robin where 12 teams go head to head, fighting for the ultimate glory to be crowned the best team of North America. Your competitors are 4 veterans and diamonds, 36 masters, and 24 conquerors. And now, introducing our host, Canadian beatbox champion with a dog and pineapple, it's the Thepeterpot.
Yo!
And with him today, the guest commentator, Tempest, ready to stir up the storm.
That's awesome. Yo!
Pull up your stream.
That's amazing. Yeah, I guess you got to pull it up. You couldn't see the video, but it was pretty epic.
I'm waiting on it.
You could hear it though, right? Could you hear it? No, you couldn't hear anything.
Your stream's on a 60-second delay. I can't.
That's right. Yeah, it didn't play for you. So you're gonna...
I'll just watch the VOD after. You know?
Yeah, I guess that's the only way to do it, hey?
Yeah. But I'm here to cast, so I'm still pretty excited.
Yeah, perfect. All right. Well, we got the pregame lobby here showing just what Arena of Valor looks like. If you have not seen it, I imagine most people here have seen it, but what Arena of Valor is, it is a mobile MOBA game. So I got my phone here. I can play this game on the go anywhere. It's like League of Legends, but it's on the mobile. It's amazing. It's fantastic. And we have a very epic match set up for you today because we have set up this tournament. This, what's it called? НАGllory tournament. It's going to be exciting.
NAGllory Premier League. We have the best of the best that have volunteered to come here and compete.
Absolutely. Yeah, so there's a Premier League and there's an Academy League. So as you guys heard, the Premier League, we have 24 Conquerors. That's absurd. So to be a Conqueror, you have to be top 50 on the server. Top 50 on the server.
We have almost half of the best players in NA in this tournament. I am so excited.
It's crazy. I guess you couldn't hear the video, but Anihi was talking about that in the video. I see chat is popping off. They're excited. I'm excited as well. We're getting invites to games, but we are not accepting any invites until we get the invite, and that's the invite for the tournament, of course. Now, we need to be hyping up some of this stuff, these stats and these teams, so we're going to go ahead and post a poll here. Which team are you guys cheering for today? We have 2 teams playing. We have Team Mystic and Team Mystic Dynasty and Team Eclipse. All right, which team are you cheering for today? Do you want to tell us a little bit about these teams there, Tempest?
Yeah, sure. I just have to pull up the screenshot.
Yeah, no worries. I need to introduce you a little bit more. I think Anihi in his video said, you know, I'm Peter Pot. You know, this is my stream. Most of you guys know who I am. But you guys may not know Tempest Tries Twitch, and he is co-casting with me. So we're very happy to have Tempest Tries Twitch on the stream here, co-casting. And he streams as well, so feel free to check out his live stream. It's Tempest Tries Twitch. And... yeah, check out mine as well. Drop a follow. I'd appreciate that. Or a subscription, whatever you want to do to show your support. But we appreciate you guys being here.
Yeah, if you guys are interested in checking out my channel, I stream Valorant and Pokemon primarily. But I do plan on streaming AoV sometime in the future, hopefully. But enough about me. Let's talk about these teams. On Team Eclipse, there is Pastry, Dark Mage, Ligma, DK, and Gia. All of them are Conquerors. This is a full Conqueror team, and I'm extremely excited. I don't know any of them personally, but as excited as I am for Team Eclipse, I am equally as excited for Mystic Dynasty with Nini, Shishui, Nova, Hone, and Ducky. Now, Nova. I do know Nova. Nova is a Conq player and a Murad specialist. I was actually teamed with him at one point in the team Underdogs. He is a very prominent player and a very good IGL, so it will be very interesting to see how he leads his team in the jungle into this first match.
All right, I need to turn up your mic, the people are telling me. So I've turned you up to 135. I know you get very loud and excited, so we don't want to have it too loud, but do you want to share a few words? Say whatever. We'll just double check in the sound here.
All right, testing. 1, 2, 3. This is me at my loudest right now. Probably the loudest I will speak during casting.
Okay, perfect. That was good. That was excellent. I like that excitement, that volume. We're about equal now in terms of levels, so hopefully that should be good. Thank you to Daniel Frosing for letting us know in the chat. Let's get to some of these chat questions right now. We have somebody asking how many hours. I think they're asking how many hours is this tournament. This is going to be maximum 2 hours. They're playing a best of 2 series. So how the series works is that the teams are made into brackets. You can check it out at chalong.com. I'll show you the brackets and such that we have here, but each team plays against another team in their bracket in the best of 2 series. And how the best of 2 series works is that they are awarded points based on wins, losses, and is there a tie? Yeah, wins, loss, and tie. So if you win both of your matches in your best of 2, you will be given a 3-point lead. Bam, 3 points. If you win both 2 games. So if your record in the best of 2 games is 2-0-0, 3 points. If you tie, so each of you gets 1 win, that's 1 point. And if you lose, if you're on the losing end, so your opponents win 2 games, you lost both of those games, you get 0 points. So the way it works is we can click on matches right here. You can see the matches. So here we got our first match right here. Team Mystic Dynasty. You can check their journey that they'll be going through. Game 1 today, Mystic Dynasty is playing against Team Eclipse. All right, and then they'll be awarded points after today's games. Then round 2, Mystic Dynasty will be facing the Resistance, and they'll be given their record after those 2 games. Finally, they will be playing against the Destroys, and then they will be given their record. Now, the top teams in each bracket, the top 2 teams in each bracket will move on to the finals brackets. All right. That's how it's looking. We got a wildcard team A, wildcard team B. I'm not sure what that's about, but you can see that's how we then move to the final stage, which is going to be the elimination rounds right here. Bam. So you want to be in the top 2 of the group stage. You want to be the top in your divisions, very much like the NHL, if you follow that. When is another tournament? We got Jack Cough. You might need some medicine for that. 23312. When is there another tournament? So you can still join the Academy League, and I'm glad that you asked. The Academy League is still open. So Premier League, this is like the creamiest crops in the entire game, like the best players facing off, teams of 5, very well organized, high level gameplay. If you're just like me, maybe you're a solo player, you're wanting to join these games, you can do that by joining the Academy League. I encourage you to press !tournament in the chat and then !Discord. Both of those links will help you get connected to the Academy tournament. So I'll go and throw these in the chat right now. All right, and they will pop up for you guys in 60 seconds, but hopefully by the time I've typed them in, it will sync up well with when I'm explaining. We got questions. When is Viet Gangs playing? These are great questions, guys. I will pull that up in just 1 second and show you the matches, but let me go ahead and type !tournament !Discord for those wanting to join the Academy League. So, question about we got the results here. The results are in. Tempest tries Twitch. Have you seen the results?
The results for which one?
The poll. Seems like.
Oh yeah.
3 people are voting for Eclipse. Yeah. Heavily favored. 3 on a ratio 3-1. That's a big deal. That's quite a discrepancy there. So it looks like Team Dynasty is going to need some extra love in the chat, you guys, because it looks like most people here, the other 3 people are here cheering for Team Eclipse. Now, I was going to pull up the schedule. People are asking, when is Viet Gangs playing? So let me go ahead and pull up the schedule here for when the teams are playing. Open the original. Nice and big. We're going to zoom in for you guys here. You can see Game 1 right here. Game 1. The 14th day of the 11th month. Team Mystic versus Team Dynasty. Sorry, Team Mystic Dynasty versus Team Eclipse. That's tonight. Viet Gangs was the question. They are right here, November 28th. Now, November 28th is going to be an exciting date. We're actually going to have 3 games on that day. So, Tempest, we haven't touched base about that if you'll be available to cast, but...
I'm just here to cast, so
perfect.
That's all I know.
So, yeah, if you're not available that whole day, we'll figure all that out. Cute to Win has a carrot as their logo. I'm excited to see them play. That is a cute logo, and their name's Cute to Win, so we'll see how they do. I'm excited.
Well, if you want to know my personal favorite team, it's going to be Do It For Steve Bunny. I'm very excited to see them play in tournaments.
That's a cool name.
Lot of people in that team.
Nice. Yeah, no, that's exciting. It's always good to kind of have a fan favorite or a team that you're looking forward to. Today's match, though, I don't really know the teams that much. You're kind of talking about the players. I don't know them too much.
The only one I know in Mystic Dynasty is Nova.
Okay. I mean,
yeah, so that's really all.
I'm a Pokemon Go player, so fellow Pokemon Go players out there, they know Team Mystic is the best team. Articuno is your mascot Pokemon. You mentioned you play Pokemon. Are you on a team in Pokemon Go?
Yes. Well, I was. I don't really play Pokemon Go religiously as I once did.
Okay.
But when I did play, I was a Team Instinct player.
Okay, that's good.
Yep.
So there's one of them. That's good to know. Because it's not the most popular team, so I'm glad that you were. They at least had you on their team. I'm just kidding, of course. That's
anyway.
Pokemon Go shade.
We're getting invited by Anihi to the tournament lobby now. So Peter, why don't you come in and join us? Oh my
goodness, this is exciting! I'm going to accept it, and I'm going to hop into the spectator shot. I'm not going to show it to the viewers yet because we don't want the lobby to get flooded, of course, but. We are almost there. We're on the cusp. This is going to be a best of 2 game. I do have to say, between the 2 teams, if I had to choose one, I think Mystic Dynasty would be my choice to cheer for. Of course, I'm a neutral. I'm a commentator. I can't say which team I want to win, but I like their name and I like that they're representing Team Mystic.
But we can't forget that Team Eclipse has a 5-conk team.
That's pretty stacked. Yeah.
No, whether or not they've been put together preemptively for this tournament, or they just came together on the spot, is what we'll find out.
Yeah. Now we can actually. I'm going to walk through the players on the team. We have it pulled up here. We have Team Mystic Dynasty right now. You can look at their. Don't get distracted, okay, by the win rates. I know people look at win rates and they try to base all their judgments on win rates. What win rates tell me personally is that, you play with an organized team, and you can really see the difference between solo queue players will have a lot lower win rate versus people who play in a team will have a higher win rate. Typically, it doesn't necessarily say which person's better. So I personally, I don't really look at the win rate too much. Like, that's awesome. They got good win rates. That's cool. What I like looking at here is the heroes they like playing. That's what I
that's what I was going to point out.
Yeah.
Normally I don't look at win rate. I look at the win rate of their heroes.
Yeah. I also look at the likes received versus the rounds as well, because sometimes, if you want to increase your likes received ratio, just put a profile picture of a girl. I'll be honest, I think that's a huge way to do it, and we'll see.
That is a pretty good way to do it.
That's one way to do it. Yeah, I'm looking through. Okay, here we go. We got one. Ligma actually has a profile picture of a girl, and hers is pretty high likes received, 69,000. Sorry, 6,900. So that's 6,900. That's pretty good. We're scrolling through, but yeah, you can see the server's best on her. She's going to be a support. I've definitely seen her in games. I've definitely, like, some of these names are definitely quite familiar to me. And I've also seen them on the server's best rankings, because I'm server's best Rui and Xenial, because I play those characters a lot. So I'm familiar with those people that are consistently server's best. And you can see that she's server's best with a zip, which is hard to do because he's often banned. Looks like we might have everybody in the game, guys. Yeah, we're almost ready to switch over. Yeah, so you can see Team Eclipse here. They are very stacked. Oh my goodness, it's starting. Here we go.
Ready, going into the match. All right, and we are in pick ban phase. Now, seeing players of this caliber this high of rank with organized teams. I'm very excited to see what they go for their pick bans. What are your thoughts, Peter?
We see Richter banned right away. So Richter has been just such a strong force for quite some time in Arena Val. I'd say he's been a centralizing character for the last 3 months. They've made some changes to, characters. They buff or nerf certain characters and stuff. But Richter's just been someone who's been just so imposing. He roams so fast. He has invincibility on his second skill. So powerful. Now we're getting to the picks. Like, those are the bans. Great.
First pick. You know, when a team is picking Teamy, they want someone fed really hard.
Absolutely. Teamy also has amazing crowd control. He has a hook that pulls him to the opponents. It doesn't have very long range, but it's pretty powerful. And then he also has his S1, which is a large stun. It stuns in a big area around him. It's actually a fart. It's pretty stinky, and it makes everybody, all the opponents around him, just freeze in their tracks. It's pretty powerful, and it stuns them longer the longer he holds it in, which I'm sure many of us can relate to. So he's a very strong pick as a support, not only for his passive, like you said, he gets people fed, but he also protects. He's just the type of homeboy you want around. You want Teamy on your team.
A potential Caffney pick, which is going to be very interesting. I know Caffney hasn't been great this patch, but we'll see what Team Mystic Dynasty. Wait, it's Mystic Dynasty, right? Yeah, Mystic Dynasty can do with it.
Yeah. The team on the left has Ligma. That is Team Eclipse. That's how I'm. That's how I'm knowing. And so I also coordinated.
Yeah, I just saw MD Lily and MD Nini cute. So.
Yeah. No, you're right. You mentioned the Caffney there. She was nerfed, actually significantly nerfed quite recently. So she kind of lost the throne of being the top marksman. Hayate took that throne from her, and now you see Hayate's banned. So Caffney is still pretty strong. She's good at kiting. She works really well with Thane. So that's a really good synergy right there. Bam, they got Thane and Caffney right off the bat. Caffney will like that because she can just keep doing damage and kiting people while Thane ties them all up. Thane is a good response to Teamy. That's my thought, anyways. What are your thoughts, right. Fennec and Omen?
Ooh, no way, they swapped. Okay, so I was gonna say that was gonna be a very bold move coming from Team Eclipse, that they would show off who they were jungling with this early on in the pick ban phase.
Yep.
But with Florentino being picked there, it puts in a strange spot onto where I think they're gonna be running their heroes, because they already have the Omen.
Yeah. So do you think that Fennec's going to be banned now? Do you think Red Team Mystic Dynasty is just going to slap a ban on that?
I don't think they'll ban Fennec, but I do think they will ban a jungler here.
Yeah, and probably a marksman jungler, right? Often when you see Teamy, he synergizes best with a marksman jungler because he helps them just snowball and get that gold very quickly. So I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if I was Team Mystic Dynasty, I would be thinking, like, why would they flash in that Fennec? Are they just trying to bait us to ban him, or are they actually planning to pick him and they said actually we should choose Florentino? So
I could see a Thorn ban coming in. Okay, no, they are just gonna ban the Fennec.
There it is. That's what I thought. And so it makes me wonder, was Team Eclipse mind gaming them? Were they like showing the Fennec like, oh, I hope they ban it because we actually want to choose Lindis, right? Could be.
True.
Could be.
Alistair ban. Or, well, there's 23 seconds left. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, knowing the skill level of Team Eclipse, I almost think it's a mind game. I feel like showing the... Oh, yeah, and there's Lindis banned too. Yeah, so that's who I would have banned for sure if I was on Team Eclipse. I think regardless of whether you... Sorry, Mystic Dynasty. I think regardless of whether they showed the Fennec or not, you should probably ban it. That's just my thought because, yeah, anytime you see Teamy, it's going to be scary facing a marksman jungler with that stinky raccoon.
It would probably be in a... Okay, I was about to say ban a mid laner.
Yeah, so Crixie's an interesting choice. Like, I wonder why Crixie over... You know who's not banned right now? Lorien, as well as Zada. Yep. Like, those are both... True. Open, but Teamy's actually pretty good against Zada, as is Omen.
it looks like they're getting rid of like the more control heavy mages, I would say. Maybe they plan on running a dive comp, and that's why they banned Crixie and
right.
Dirac.
Yes, poke for sure. Dirac and Crixie are some of the best poke mages for sure. And yeah, you see Team Mystic Dynasty as well banned out the Ignis, so he's the premier control mage, him and Diao Chan. But you don't really see Diao Chan in the top because she's just not as consistent with her ice and landing it. Yeah, so who are we going to see in the jungle, I wonder?
If they end up locking in Thorn, we could see Thorn jungle.
Yeah, Thorn jungle
like
is an option.
They're just cycling through right now, but they've passed through Thorn like several times, so I believe they're going to be locking in Thorn. I will be surprised if we do see a Slims lock, though.
Yeah.
Ooh,
so they did go with Slims. Okay.
How do you feel Slims synergizes with Teamy and Omen? Because that's really what he's going to be playing off of in this team comp.
Yeah, so with Slims, when Omen lands his ultimate on an opponent, or if he hooks an opponent, Slims can spear them. Slims spear also, like Slims is pretty much all about his spear. That's what the character's about. And what the spear does is it stuns opponents, and it stuns them longer the further the spear travels. It's a skill shot, so you have to aim it. So anything that helps you land that skill shot makes a big difference. So Teamy stunning people, that really helps Slims being able to land his spear. Omen as well has multiple skills that can help Slims land his spear. And it's going to really revolve around that spear and the stun from Teamy and Slims, because Lorien has no crowd control other than his ultimate. So his ultimate is really powerful. It knocks up opponents for 2.5 seconds, and that cannot be reduced. Opponents cannot build resistance to lessen the amount of the knock-up from Lorien's ultimate, but it can be kind of tricky to land that ultimate. However, it's really strong into somebody like Thane, because you know what Thane does, right? And he pushes people around. He's the high school bully. He's the guy when you're in high school, you see the guy, and he's got the full mustache, maybe a little bit of a handlebar, and he's just running through the hallways, pushing people around, holding them up against the lockers, taking their lunch money. That's kind of what Thane does. But Lorien's the hero. He'll come in and he'll knock them up with his ultimate. So Thane is predictable in his movement. He's just absurdly tanky. He's potentially the tankiest character in the entire game. He has a passive that when he gets low, it's just when his health is below 1/3, then he will heal 1/3 of his health, and that's crazy, you know. Very strong passive.
We've been talking up Team Eclipse's comp for a while. What do you feel about Team Mystic Dynasty with the Thane, Jinnar, Ryoma, Chi, and Caffeine?
Yeah, so we saw Jinnar as the final pick. Jinnar's a really strong counter to Lorien. Lorien wants to go in and he gets this aura around him that lifesteals. Well, Jinnar's the original version of that. Jinnar's ultimate gives him lifesteal all around his body, and actually much more. It's on a longer cooldown, of course, but when Lorien wants to go in, if Jinnar's holding his ult, he can counter that quite well. And so that was a really good pick. I really like that Jinnar pick, but I think that Team Eclipse came ahead in the draft. That's my personal thought. Florentino is just such a powerful character, and it seems like getting Teamy is also a huge pickup for them. So I am excited for their composition, but I think that Team Mystic Dynasty did a really good job of counterpicking that Lorien there with their Jinnar choice as well. And we have Ryoma in the jungle. Ryoma can poke for a long ways. Here we go. Take it away, Tempest.
All right. So as things get going, as we saw in the load-in, Ligma, server's best teamy in Conk, you would have to know that we are going to see some absolutely crazy teamy plays.
I'm excited to see what comes out of Teamy. And the support, of course, is Thane on the red team, Team Mystic Dynasty. You'll see Teamy is going to be roaming with the jungler, of course. Now, often supports either start in the middle. That's usually where the big fights happen. Lorien getting that lifesteal right away. It's kind of a 3v1 there. I wonder if Thane is going to pop in there. You know, he didn't. He's saving his flicker. That's what he took, right? He took sprint. Interesting. Sprint on Thane versus flicker. I'm really intrigued to see that. You can do some really cute plays with flicker and Thane, but of course sprint is less of a cooldown. So you can, yeah, and I think that's the big reason why you choose sprint on Thane.
I think the sprint is really there to synergize with Jannar with sprint as well. That's probably why they're running it.
That's true.
They have 3 sprint users. They have a Caphany, Jannar, and Thane all running sprint right now.
Wow. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, so they are planning to synergize that sprint together. So I think we'll see that at some key moments. That's why, you know, when I saw Thane in that bush, I'm like, that's an easy flicker S1 for Thane to get that kill on Lorien. But we didn't see it, of course, because he didn't have flicker. So it'll be interesting to see how they piece that together. We see a fight in the middle right now. Chi and Florentino duking it out. Chi had to use her flicker to get out of there.
With half health there. Looks like pressure's building up here in mid, but it doesn't look like much is going to end up happening. It looks like Team Eclipse wants to go for some kind of invade here. They are looking like the more aggressive team right now, but both teams have been pretty defensive for the early game as far as it goes. But as we can see right now, Team Eclipse with the 3-man roaming happening right now.
Yeah, we can see Caphany starting to tickle the dragon a little bit. And a big fight in the middle shaping up.
About to happen. Teamy solo. And Chi getting out of there. Jannar was almost dead. And
that's huge.
Does get the first blood there.
That was massive. So that was a combination of the Lorien ult going in, knocking up the Jannar. Oh, man, fight over the blue buff.
Right now, Team Eclipse. I'm gonna have to get used to these names. Are now going in on Team Mystic Dynasty. Mystic Dynasty is holding on, but it looks like Team Eclipse is at around half health right now. It looks like they might be able to safely poke it out. They are gonna lure out the blue buff, allowing their jungler to safely take it.
Yeah, I was going to say the winner in that fight was the blue buff because neither team got it. And now red team gets their blue buff in that. Yeah, no, we've seen some good exchanges here. Red, it looks like Dragon is pretty safe for red team to go for if they do decide to do that. It's just Omen down there. He will not be able to contest that. And this will help red team, Mystic Dynasty, be able to get some gold. Yeah.
Dragon.
They need that gold. Meanwhile, big dive up at the top. Chi went down. Yep.
And an invade. They realized, look, we lost the dragon, so let's just take your jungle.
Yeah,
the jungle's ours now.
Exactly. That offsets that gold loss that they took by missing the dragon. So we see Caphany ulting the Omen at the bottom. It's going to be a little tricky time for Omen down in the bottom lane against the Caphany, a lot more mobile, unless he's able to land his ultimate.
Both teams just kind of like testing each other out, poking, see what the other wants to commit on. Right now, both non-extremely committal in the mid lane here, but as the waves are looking like they'll work out, we might see a fight happening here in bot pretty soon or top.
Yeah, I want to point out a quality of life change that came out in the recent patch. I wasn't sure if it would work for spectators, but it does. So Teamy, or any character that has a spell that charges up, it actually shows a gauge or a notification on the top of the character. So you'll see when Teamy's clenching his cheeks with the S1, preparing a fart, he is actually showing us, we can see how far the progress is and how long he's been charging it up for.
And
there it is, you can see it there.
Misses the stun, but Nova's caught out in the middle, gets ulted by the Omen, does end up falling. Lorien going in. He gets pushed away by Thane into the tower as Jannar is now popping the ult, and everyone is in the blender right now as they are all rapidly losing health. DK has to get out of there. He is getting shot down by Caphany. Will he be able to make it alive? No, Thane is going in on him, and just barely Tasma makes it out of there. But that was an incredible team fight coming from Mystic Dynasty as they took amazing control of the situation.
Yeah, that was Thane. A lot on Thane there. Being able to catch Lorien, push him right under the tower. Lorien has a lot of lifesteal, but he can't tower dive. And that wasn't his intention to dive the tower. But Thane, of course, is such a big bully. He'll push him right under there, and he'll end up dying. And that was really well played, and you can see why Thane was chosen as the support here. Big fight up top. We got Florentino, 3v1. If anyone can do it, it's Florentino. Huge defensive play.
He was coming for the support. Tasma does get off a stun. Thane pushes Teamy away from his team. Manages to get out on such little health. But wait, Teamy's going in. And Thane is forced to dash out of there.
Yeah, I'm so surprised Thane made it out. Teamy went super deep, but that's just a testament to the tankiness of Thane. If we look at the gold, we can look at the difference between each team. and the breakdown of the gold. The Thane has 113 right now. He has 2.3k gold. Teamy has a slight bit more, but if you look at Thane, like in comparison, same as Jynnar.
Non-stop team fights as
big
both
one
teams
here.
are now clashing. Oh, and wait, hold on just a minute as Omen is so low on health. Jynnar making Team Eclipse look like a smoothie right now as he pops the ult. And oh my goodness, Fortino goes in. He does get dashed away. He pops the Arctic Orb. Will he get out? He gets shot by the tower, but no, the tower's not enough. Tasma manages to get a nice snipe on Thane right there.
I'm in shock that Florentino lived. I don't even know what happened. He had no health and a tower shot came. What even was that? They removed Death Sickle from the game, so that's no longer a thing. That was wild.
Very nice tower, not tower take, sorry. Abyssal Dragon take from Team Eclipse, and Team Eclipse is just gonna go back in. Lorian gets the levitate. Tasma does end up falling up. A cheeky play from Chi right there.
Yeah, big fight in the middle here. Omen really wants that tower. Okay, he's able to make it out. They're able to just squeak by. Yeah, that fight in the bottom, that was initiated by a Slim Spear. Landed the spear, then Lorian could land his ultimate. This Slim Spear is massive right now. And that's kind of what I was saying, like the synergy between those skills really showing its potency. 413, 414, the scores on the Lorian and the Slims respectively. Meanwhile, on the red team, we have Caffney, 3-0-2. She's getting fed. She has her Clavis Sanctity. That's her power spike item. She's already got that, which is great. Slim's just finished his as well. So we're going to see both of these marksmen ramp up and become more powerful. You see him taking the Spirit Sentinel, who's no longer a little beast. It's this tall, lanky man that really scares me. So I'm glad they took him out.
Now, something I'm noticing very interesting from Team Mystic Dynasty is they're actually having their Caffney pre-beat up on the jungle creeps just to help their jungler catch up and farm, but it doesn't. As I'm talking about it, we do see a clean tower take coming in from Team Eclipse.
Yeah, and you know they want that bottom tower. They've already dove it a couple times. Teamy's just sitting there. He's looking. And he's ready to go in, and now here comes Florentino.
Oh, Florentino going in onto the backlines, but it looks like it might have been a little bit too risky as he starts getting absolutely blown up. Jynnar is popping the ult. He is in full blunder mode as he is absolutely melting everyone, pulverizing them into dust, and Tasma DK gets caught out in the middle and ends up falling.
That was crazy. The combination of Thane, he pushes people, but so does Chi, actually. Chi wants them up against the wall. She's the female version of the high school bully, which I never had to deal with, thankfully, but you don't want to be facing her when you're up against the wall because she will push you and stun you for even longer when you're near the wall. She's doing quite well. 2-2-2. Yeah, so she was being pretty bullied in the top lane, so to even see her doing that well is good to see. Meanwhile, Florentino on the Team Eclipse is doing well too, doing what Florentino does. Thane and Chi really pivotal in that team fight, allowing Caffney to just do what she wants to do, which is run around and shoot people. 4, 0, and 5.
Yeah, that was a great team fight, but still, Team Eclipse is still in the lead. More towers, more gold. So currently they are winning despite losing that team fight right there.
Yeah, I don't know which way this game's going. Like, of course, the blue team has a tower lead, like a sizable tower lead. That's actually big. That's huge. Getting the Slayer's huge.
That's absolutely huge.
Yeah.
Oh, and looks like they're about to go in once again.
Huge Omen ult.
Omen pops the ult, locking down Chi as Chi now ends up falling. That was a great pick.
Yeah.
Let's see what else they do with it.
Caffney's really overextended here. She really wants that tower.
No, Teamy does end up surviving though.
Yeah, Caffney
nice.
really wanted that tower. I don't know if it was worth it for her to die to get it. We'll have to find out. Yeah, Lorian is just so centralized, and that ultimate is coming out a lot faster than I expected it to be honest. I forgot how low that cooldown is.
The Drake has been dropped. This is about to be a massive push in mid. Jynnar looking like he might have popped the ult a little bit early, as in desperation. He is now his whole team is now forced to back off as I don't have that damage output from the Jynnar, as a Team Eclipse is now pushing in on the mid high ground tower. Chi dashes in, has to go out, does those great levitation from the Lorian, And oh my goodness, as Team Eclipse is now pushing in on the tower, but they are all super low in health. The ult is back as Jannar once again goes ahead and pops it. Lorion does end up falling, and Omen is looking to go in. He might be able to sneak up the tower. He does manage to pull into the Capney, as Capney does end up falling. And now it is a 1v1 situation. No, never mind, it isn't, because Slims is now coming in for the support. And what an amazing push coming in from Team Eclipse as they take game 1 over Mystic Dynasty.
That was huge. That was crazy. That was wild. Some good picks from both teams there. That was phenomenal. That was really good. All right. We're at this screen right now because we want to do a quick little poll. Who do you guys think? Well, I think you guys saw the MVPs there. But who would you guys choose as the MVPs for Team Eclipse? All right, Team Eclipse, we had, of course, Teamy, Slims, Florentino, Omen, and Lorian, versus on Team Mystic Dynasty, Thane, Jinnar, Cafney, Chi, and Ryoma. Why don't you share your thoughts there on who you would have chosen as MVPs, like regardless of what stats, you know, Arena Valor gives? Who was really standing out for you that game, Tempest?
Who was standing? I honestly, I can't take a pick. They all played incredibly well together. If I had to choose, though, I would probably say the Teamy was putting in so much work for his team there.
Yeah, Teamy did great support for sure. For me, I would say the Lorian, the ultimates were huge. The biggest anti-dive. I haven't seen Lorian in an actual tournament setting. This is the first game. He's quite a new character. So he anti-dive. He won majority of those team fights. Like that last team fight, that was Lorian on his back. Chi jumped in. He said, nope. Boop. He popped up multiple people. They all died. We'll go ahead, take a look right now at the actual MVPs. Meanwhile, on the red team, who really stood out to me was that Thane. We'll see the game actually gave Thane that MVP role, which I think he was very well deserving of. He was also anti-dive, but what was crazy was that the blue team, it wasn't their support that was just the anti-dive, it was their Lorian as well. So of course it's ban picks, so this means on the next games the team cannot choose the same characters that they chose the last game. So that means red team does not need to ban Lorian.
Yes, we do have a global ban pick for
right
this,
but that means that the red team can choose Lorian, right? So I'm wondering if we'll see Team Eclipse ban Lorian. Lorian was, for me, the craziest hero that last game. That was, I don't know how you play against a high-skilled Lorian. That was just unbelievable. He's a brand new character, very strong, and you got to see him in action there. Chat is popping off right now for their votes, and it's like largely they're saying Tatsuma, and they're saying Lorian.
Can we talk about how incredibly Jannar worked for their team comp? As for Team Mystic Dynasty?
Yeah, Jannar was really good. It made it hard, like, say, for Florentino to go in, or even Omen at times, but Omen, I found, was taking picks that didn't include Jannar. I feel like the team fights were so oriented around Lorian's ultimate, like more so than any other. I was really impressed to see that. We got the Game 2 invite here, so I'm going to hop into the spectators. Looks like you're already there. Perfect.
Yes,
Yeah, Jannar was pretty good, but I feel like he was just, like, it's tough for him. He's outranged massively by Lorian. Lorian's range. Lorian's rage too. I'm sure you don't want to face an angry Lorian, but his range was immense, and his crowd control and how low the cooldown was on that ultimate. Like Durak's ultimate, for example, very powerful. Like some would say the strongest ultimate in the game. And with what it just does so much, so versatile. We saw Durak banned, but even that ultimate has a really long cooldown on it. Meanwhile, this ultimate here, it was way too short. I felt like we were seeing it every 30 seconds. I could be wrong, but it seemed way too short to me.
Thank you!
I want to give a big shout out to all the follows right now. Thank you to everybody following. I appreciate that. One of the best ways you can support the stream, costs you nothing, is dropping the follow, so thank you. And for all those people following, you know what? We're going to give the dog a treat right now. We're just in the pregame lobby, getting things ready. Douglas, come get some treats.
Pre-game, in between games, let's also give a huge shout out to Anihi, who is running this tournament for all of you guys to see.
Absolutely.
I feel like he deserves some love.
Yeah, we got Skyshow11, Indeed NM People, Indeed NM, Indeed Name People, and Almond Life. Almond Life, I like that. Or that's not even his name. Almond Dial. It has almond in it, so I like that. Here's some treats for the dog. Thanks to you guys. Thank you so much for following. We're going to continue on with our programming. His name's Douglas, by the way. If you come to the Thepeterpot live stream, you get to see Douglas. He loves everybody, and he loves you guys being here. So thank you so much for stopping by. And yeah, we're just killing some time right now until we get into our next game. Yeah, so yeah, most people were saying their favorite picks last game, who they thought were the chosen heroes. I wonder what some bans will be. Like Zada. I think we'll see Zada this next game, either banned or chosen. Like, we didn't see him the first game, and he's a very powerful character. We can look again at the server's best heroes and what they are good at here. So we got Florentino, who was chosen by Team Eclipse. That was the server's best Florentino we were watching. We got Wonder Woman, hasn't been chosen or banned yet. We might see Wonder Woman from Team Eclipse. Ignis was banned, so we didn't see him. Ligma can play all the supports, so we'll see some of them. We see Tatsuma.
He has a deep hero pool. Deeper than a woman's purse.
Yeah, that is a wonderful metaphor. Brings me so much joy. I think we're ready here. Oh yes, here we go, guys. We'll see some bans. This will be exciting.
All right, so okay. We see the Zip ban straight away. I mean,
Yep.
Zip's an incredible support and a teamy ban.
Yeah. You keep talking about those bans there. I need to update because it looks like the teams switched sides. We're going to have the blue team is now Mystic Dynasty. They just like to make us work extra hard. Or maybe it's so each team gets a turn on each side. That makes the most sense.
Yeah, that's not normally how tournaments go.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that. And Eclipse won that last one, if people are just joining and wondering what's going on. So we're going to throw their score in the score bar here as well. They're up 1 game. It's a best of 2 series. If you're curious how it all works, nobody's getting dropped from the tournament. It's a round robin. So if you win 2 games, you get 3 points for your team in the standings. If you both win 1 game, then you each get 1 point for your teams in the standings. And if you win 0 games, then you only get 0 points. Oh, we see Richter. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Richter is here. We were talking about Richter last game, and we see Hayate. Wow. These not having global ban picks, or sorry, having global ban picks, I mean, makes for some exciting times.
Definitely switches things up a bit.
Yeah, we see everybody that was banned last time. We saw Durek and Hayate both banned by Team Eclipse, and now they're both drafted by Team Eclipse. That's impressive. Now I'm wondering if Team Dynasty, Mystic Dynasty, if they even have somebody who can play Lorien. And no, they don't. We see them choosing Crixie, and I think they are server's best Crixie. Who is that? Han Neil. Let me look up their name here. Not server's best Crixie, but they are very high rated as Crixie and Alistair and Durak as well. So they will know that matchup. They'll be familiar with Durak. The new Durak skin came out today, by the way, in the Codex. If you pre-ordered the Codex, it is crazy. I wonder if we'll see it today.
Wait, is it the Grand Council Durak?
It's like a moon. So his S1, it's like an eclipse, like an actual eclipse, which would be so thematic with their team's name if they got the eclipse skin Durak. I would pop off if I saw that. Which Charity, my wife, she's went out shopping if you were watching the stream earlier. So I can get very excited and nobody's going to tell me to be quiet. At least not for 60 seconds anyways, because we have a stream delay. So if people are like, that's way too loud, I won't know until 60 seconds after. We do have a stream delay for those wondering. We're preventing stream sniping. Of course, nobody would actually stream snipe because everybody's amazing. But we don't want to have any allegations or any thoughts. We have a lot of money on the line. If you guys don't know, this tournament has $300 in the prize pool. So the top 3 teams in the tournament, in the Premier League at the end of the season, it's an about approximate 9-week season, will get $300 spread out amongst them. Pretty crazy. $75 for the 3rd place team. That's 25% of the prize pool. 30% of the prize pool to the 2nd place team. 1st place team taking home 45% of that prize pool. I believe that's $165, but it's a lot of money. It's pretty exciting. Now we're getting all the bands are just about done here, and we've already got some picks. Why don't you walk us through what you're seeing here, Tempest?
Ooh, okay, so I have a lot to say about a Lumber pick here. Lumber is a hero that you do not see very often anymore. Him in the support role will be very interesting. I feel he is very underrated in terms of a support. I just feel like he gets overshadowed by like heroes like Krizix and Zip.
But, he was nerfed too. Are you aware of his like recent nerf? They removed the shield off of his S2. So one of his best abilities was his S. So they tweaked his S1, his first skill, which reduces the opponent's damage that they can deal. It's been buffed, but his S2, which is like he's very much about his S2. He dashes and he knocks up opponents and gives shields to allies that he moves through. It's a very powerful skill. It's kind of what defined the character, that and his ultimate ability. So for them to remove the shield, I haven't seen Lumber played since the nerf, and I've heard he's not as good. But we see this top tier team, Team Eclipse, choosing Lumber. I am excited to see it in action. But you're right, he's not often chosen.
For a second that we might have seen a Kirito on the field here, also known as Elaine, but if he's using the Kirito skin, we have to call him Kirito.
Right. Yes, I haven't seen the animes, but it's a pretty cool skin. They have some really cool skins in Arena of Valor. I really like that aspect of the game. It makes me want to open up my wallet.
No, I think we're gonna see a Zuka lock here, maybe or not. Oh, they're playing the mind games with the commentators right now.
Yeah, they just want to keep us I think he's just showing off his skins. He's like, you know what? I've spent a lot of money on the game. I want you guys to know. He might, you know what, have spent a lot of money. The Arena of Valor official Discord holds tournaments where they give out vouchers and stuff, and you can redeem those for skins. So wouldn't surprise me if he's won many of these fancy skins on them. Or it could just be the case that they play enough that they're like, you know what? I have to look at this panda bear all the time. I want to get a skin on this character that I like to look at. So maybe that's part of what it is.
Look, I know how cool skins feel, because when I'm playing Liliana, if I'm wearing any other skin from Idol or Mirage,
yeah,
I just don't feel the same, you know?
Yeah, I hear ya. Yeah, so he's looks like he's deciding between Kriknak and Zill. I would like Zill has a tough time against Lumber, I'll be honest, because Lumber reduces the magic resistance, magic defense, however you want to define it, of his nearby teammates, and he just wants to be close to his teammates, which makes it really awkward for Zill's ultimate.
And Alice, another super underrated support in my honest opinion.
Yeah, Alice is very strong. She hasn't been as chosen lately.
She doesn't have a high pick rate is what I'll say, but she's still very good.
So Alice against Hayate, though, it makes me wonder a little bit about that choice. Hayate is so mobile. He's really like, I'm a support main. If you don't know, I'm Peterpot talking right now. I love support, so I'm kind of familiar with them. When I play Alice, I do not like facing Hayates because they're very mobile. Any shield I give my teammates, Hayate just hits right through it. He doesn't care. He does true damage. He's a ninja. He can throw his shuriken in between your shield, wherever it is. He finds a way. I don't know how he does it, but he's a true ninja, and he makes it really tough for Alice. But who Alice is good against is she's pretty good against Duroc. She makes it awkward for him when she ults because he has to move out of that alt range. And when we look back at that last game, we saw a lot of big fights that were dictated by area of effect ultimates, right? We saw Lorian's ultimate, which is, I guess Alice's ultimate's kind of like a discount version, like an extremely discount version, but it's still similar. It's a big wide area of effect that silences, slows, and reduces magic defense of the opponent. So seeing Alice there, it's pretty strong. Just don't know about it into Hayate. Meanwhile, we see Zill on Eclipse. Zill is so good here. Look at how squishy Team Mystic Dynasty is here.
For sure. But the only caveat to it is if he accidentally locks onto Richter and Richter pops the S2, Zill could be in trouble as he's left without stacks and a dash out of there.
That's true. So yeah, Richter honestly is is going to be the one carrying the blue team, the Mystic Dynasty. Like, not in terms of kills and such, but in terms of the team fights, he's going to have to make some really smart engages. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm sure they will. These are some top quality players. Meanwhile, on the blue team, they're going to have Lumber keep the people safe, because Richter, I'll tell you, he's going to want to hop into Durak. He's going to want to get in that back lane, get onto Durak, get onto Hayate, do what he can. So Lumber's going to have to keep his people safe, which Lumber is good at. So we'll have to keep an eye on Ligma. Here we go.
Well, here we go. So, with these team comps, I could see both teams playing pretty passively for the early game. We won't really see too much action until mid to late. But with teams of this high of a caliber, I think... Oh, wait, actually, maybe my prediction might be wrong, as we already see a big grouping here in mid.
Yeah, so the thing with Durak and Crixie, they both have very fast wave clears. So you'll see them be able to roam a lot. And that's their goal. Alice going very high up. She really wanted to scout the dragon. She might lose her life for that. Like a good...
Alice gonna get caught out in the middle as does get knocked up. She is forced to pop the sprint, but will it be enough to get away from a chasing Durak? It will.
Yeah, you'll see how well Durak played it there. Like they're very low level.
Alice, what are you
yikes.
doing?
She's baiting there. She knew Crixie was waiting, but Alice is so low. Oh man.
Level to do it yet, so I just don't think it's a very good move to try and do it.
Yeah.
Oh, but actually,
Lumber's super bold.
Oh no! And
wow.
Crixie gets caught out in that a risky vision check or bush check there leads to her death.
Yeah, that play orchestrated by the Lumber. That was just phenomenal. Lumber made, and he wasted a bunch of the team Mystic Dynasty's junglers' time, and was able to set up so that Crixie got baited as well. Went after him. Just phenomenal. You don't usually see Lumber's played that aggressively into such a poke-heavy team, but he didn't care. He made it happen.
In a bad position.
That's huge.
Out, and that is going to be a huge kill for Team Eclipse right there. And now, Kriknak caught out in the mid. He is going to get out with the teams only being around levels 3 to 4. We won't be seeing any crazy doubles or triples right now.
Yeah, that is the downside to Alice. She's pretty squishy. Like, she didn't even really do anything wrong there. She was pathing far away from the bush, so she thought, I'll be okay. No, not against Durak. He is like permanent stun. It feels like an eternity. We see they take the dragon there. Team Eclipse, the red team, up in gold and also up in objectives.
Oh no, wait, Alice might get caught out in the middle here. Zill taking out Kriknak right away, and Alice forced to pop the sprint, and that is gonna leave Tasma in prime position to steal a blue buff here.
Yep, it's a free blue buff for them. This Alice skin, very nice.
Looks like what's his name? Panda. I can't remember his name.
Zuka. Yeah.
Zuka actually taking the blue buff, probably accidentally.
Yeah, well, it's as long as your opponents don't have it, that's the main thing. So he's happy about that, I'm sure. Now, I do like the Alice's skin, the ultimate. I look forward to seeing that. Her S1 is a pumpkin on the ground. That's very cool. I like that. Oh, wow. That Lumber just really setting up these fights really well. Like, blue team Mystic Dynasty is afraid of this Lumber. And rightfully so. They've been baited by him. He'll knock you up if you get close. Even if you're not that close, you don't know who else is by him. You'll see he's just...
And wait, they're going to get towered as Alice gets caught in the middle. Zill ends up popping the ult. Kriknak coming in for support. Lumber not with his team. Tasma looking like he might fall. He does end up popping the orb, and Tasma does end up living.
Oh my
look
goodness.
at Lumber going in on this Crixie, and that was so well played by the Lumber there.
That was crazy. Lumber flickered out of that fight and then used his S2 to go back into the fight because he gives his teammate magic and armor. Magic defense and armor. He gives them both when he's just nearby. He played that super well. He was waiting for his cooldown. So he flickered out. He's like, okay, I can't do anything in that fight. I'm probably going to die. I'm very low. Flickered out. Came back in when the cooldowns were ready. Just a high level play.
Yeah. Those were extremely well-timed Dark Orbs coming in from from Team Eclipse there as well, just stalling enough time for Lumber to come in and save him there as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, you'll see how aggressive the Lumber's playing and not getting punished. Like it's the blue team, they know the composition. Mystic Dynasty is not able to poke it.
Mad damage on the Morin as Morin now ends up falling, and this Lumber is setting up so many plays for his team right now. It is absolutely insane.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. Now, if the Lumber was not playing well, like this, the team would fall apart. It'd be so much harder for Team Eclipse to do any of the things that they're doing. And you'll actually notice Mystic Dynasty, I think that's where their struggle is. They don't have a strong engage other than Richter, but Richter, of course, Slayer lane, he's up top. He can't roam as freely as this Lumber. This Lumber's just always in the river. I haven't seen Lumber path with the Hayate once. Lumber's always setting up fights. He's always with the Durak in the mid lane because he knows the stun that Durak has.
Big team fight looking like it might happen here in mid. Oh wait,
oh,
hold
Zil
on.
going in.
Does pop the ult on the Cricknack. Cricknack cannot get away as he ends up falling.
Yeah, this is a tough time for poor Cricknack. He's getting his jungle invaded, stolen. His team is falling. He can't farm up. It's a tough time to be a Beetle right now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Another dragon.
Bringing in the pesticide right now.
Yeah, we see Crixie though. Just got her boomstick. That's good. That's some good damage that she'll need. She's actually kind of.
Once again, going in. Nini ends up falling. The Alice getting caught in the middle there, unable to escape from the Zillout as it follows you, no matter where you go.
Yeah, if only Alice was a lot more bulky.
Oh no, poor Morin as he gets absolutely destroyed in the bottom lane from a great tower dive coming in from Eclipse. They do end up getting the tower plus a Morin pick, which is great for them.
For sure.
Look at this 3-man rotation coming mid. It might be a bad time for Cricknack. He does recognize this is a situation, and he gets out of there fast. But look at Team Eclipse as they are now going top.
Yeah, they have a big lead, and they are not afraid to just push it. They said, you know what, let's get this top tower. Why not? Richter's a big threat to their team, but he's just been constrained to the top lane. And he's been farming, which is good to farm, but he hasn't been present in any of these fights. Oh, big fight in the middle here. Zil going deep all the way. Crixie living. Crixie is just phenomenal at living. I can't believe that she's such a squishy mage. So is Alice, but that's so crazy. Like the amount of speed she gets. Oh, that was so close. Cricknack really wanted that Zil. He needs that shutdown. He wants that gold. 612 on that Zil. He was very close. Cricknack's playing well, but it's tough because he's a gank oriented. He's kind of an assassin, but he doesn't know where Lumber is. Lumber could be in a bush.
Engages for his team as now Morin might get caught out in the middle. He is getting hit by a heavy CC, but Durak does end up falling.
Perfect.
Ooh, the Lumber goes down, and will the Mystic Dynasty get anything out of this?
That's huge. That's so huge that Mystic Dynasty were able to get those 2 kills. So Morin is a late game hyper carry. He's not super great early, but he carries harder than almost any character in the game. Probably, yeah, he probably scales the most out of every character in the game. So they just want to get this Morin fed.
Yep, getting those two kills allowed them to take mid right there.
Yeah.
Now we have a potential gank on the Zuka coming up here in top. Alice is gonna engage. Does manage to get the stun. Perfectly landed, and the kill steal coming in from the Alice, taking it away from Cricknack.
Did Alice get that kill? Wow. Okay, yeah, she just had to redeem herself, so she's not 0-4-1. She wants to be 1-4-0. We got a lot of people watching right now, over 50 viewers, so she wants to make a good name for herself. But landing that S1 was crucial. I think that the Zuka was probably dead anyways, but Zuka does have some really good mobility, so it's hard to say. Landing the S1, safest way to secure the kill. This is Zil ultimate onto the Richter. Now Zil is so fed at this point that Richter's not much of a threat. Zil will just gobble him up. The big way you're going to kill Zil is you're going to get Morin fed and you're going to protect Morin, because Morin can just delete everybody.
Oh wow, an Abyssal take coming in from Hayate there.
Wow, he soloed it. Hayate is pretty strong.
Alright. Looks like both teams are kind of just going to see what they can do now. They are...
I'm watching the mid lane here. They really want this tower here. We might see a big fight.
They won't be able to get much off of it until the wave goes into the tower, and then the team fight will break out. But oh, Kriknak getting some small damage off on Hayate there. Both teams backing off.
You'll see Alice's ult. Yeah, Alice's ult countering Durek's ult there. Durek's ult, one of the best, if not the best, for pushing towers. You block all the tower shots with it. It's insane. Big fight up top.
Oh, and Richter, does he manage to get out? He does. That S2 is so good for him.
Yeah. Once blue team Mystic Dynasty is able to engage with Richter in these team fights, it's going to look a lot different than how it has looked. That's my prediction anyways. And now that they've lost the top tower, I think Richter will be roaming with the team a bit more once he clears the top lane. We'll see. It all depends on what their priorities are, and it'll be interesting to see how they respond.
If a team fight breaks out here in bottom, it will be a 5v4. Richter is all the way in the top lane right now. Kriknak is looking like he's going to get caught in the middle, and absolutely no chance as all of Eclipse.
Yeah, it was a big pick for them. Yeah, and of course the red buff spawns right there. They just get to steal that, so that's unfortunate. Mystic Dynasty is losing a lot from these fights, these small picks that Eclipse is getting. It's costing them a lot.
Playing for picks right now, and it's working out completely in their favor.
We'll see Richter and Hayate in the top. Is anything going to happen?
It's going to be another tower take as Dirac pops his ult, blocking all the shots. He gets his enhanced auto attack, and it absolutely melts the tower.
Yeah, I notice he ults pretty much every time they're going to get a tower, and it works out very well for them. That's what they're prioritize.
Yeah, Team Eclipse getting on a Slayer. Kriknak maybe waiting for
He's thirsty.
There.
He wants it.
He's thirsty. He does steal it. He steal from the Kriknak. That was absolutely insane. But can his team make something of it? I mean, taking away a Slayer is so huge. It definitely keeps them in the game for just a little bit longer.
Yeah, that was massive. Morin just got his Bow of Slaughter as well. That extra gold helping him out, man. That's what he needs. He just needs to stay alive. Man, they could definitely turn this around. Mystic Dynasty can still do this. Getting that Slayer was a huge boost of morale for them as well. They look at the KDA ratio and they're like, oh man, we're having a tough time. They've also, opponents gotten all 3 dragons, but hey, we got the Slayer. We can do this, guys. Look at that. It's a small victory. They don't know Lumber's in that bush. This Lumber loves to ping as well, the little emotes. Just hides in the bush, just watches, just blends in. It's not like there's a mountain in your jungle or anything.
Don't do that. Okay, Kriknak does get out of there.
Another red buff.
I got very concerned he was going to dive on a Lumber there.
Yeah, I feel like
something you do not want to do as a Kriknak.
Kriknak hasn't seen his red buff either for a while.
That would have been the most silver 2 thing I've seen in all tournaments.
Red buff's huge for Kriknak as well because it slows the opponent, so all he has to do is land his skill that sends out little beetles. Uh-oh, Richter getting poked, but he's close enough to the tower. He's able to make it out. That's good. This is a big fight here. We got the 4, all 5. They really want this top tower.
Okay, looks like it's all gonna start when Dirac maybe pops it out. No, wait, Zuka is gonna dive in on the back line, and everyone's going in. So much damage.
There's more in though.
So much health. The Dirac ult, that huge laser beam doing so much damage at Asma. Actually, with that Zell ult also doing incredible amounts of damage.
Yeah, that was huge. They traded 2 for 2, but the top tower also went down, so Team Eclipse coming out on top, and when you're ahead on gold, you're ahead on score, and even trade is in your favor. So Team Eclipse came out on top there. Meanwhile, though, Morin is just warming up, as he says. He's landing hits, and you saw in that fight he didn't die. He was able to stay back and just shoot from a distance. He played it very well. Like, if I was the marksman, I'm not a great marksman, I would have been up further and they definitely would have dove me and I would have died. But he knows their composition. Lumber's going to jump in, Zuka's going to jump in, so he needs to stay back far, and he did that really well.
Yes, and this gold lead coming in from Team Mystic Dynasty is huge right now. It's they're like 7K ahead, almost 8K.
A lot of gold. Lumber has 15 assists. That's a lot. We're going to be hitting triple digits soon because this Lumber is just playing phenomenally in all these fights. That's huge.
Zill popping the ult. Crixie does end up falling. Hayate uses the S1, pops his ult, and destroying almost all of Team Mystic Dynasty there.
That's huge.
Cricknack is the only one left, but what's he doing? He goes in, dives in.
He wants a pick so bad. But Lumber's not going to let him get a pick. Lumber's dancing.
Lumber is dancing on him.
Yeah, you can tell he's got those hotkeys down, the dance, the emoticons, everything. He's used to just dominating with Lumber, you can tell.
This is going to be it.
Oh my goodness, Zuka.
Dynasty.
Whew. Zuka onto the Cricknack, huge there. All right, guys, let's talk about who you think the MVPs are. All right, we haven't shown the screen.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we both know who the MVPs are.
MVP for the blue team, MVP for the red team. Your choice for the blue team, we got Alice, we got Richter, we got Cricknack, we got Crixie, and we got Morin. On the red side, we got Lumber, we got Zuka, we got Zil, we got Hayate, we got Durak. Who are you thinking there?
Honestly, even though the game says that Zil got the MVP, I believe it belongs to that Lumber. That Lumber was nonstop setting up plays for his team. Without that Lumber there, Team Eclipse just really wouldn't have anything to get those great picks. They were just playing picks the whole game over and over again.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And on the blue team, Team Eclipse, I think for me, definitely the Crixie as well. That's who got it, but that's who I would have given it to. Just the ability to stay alive in those early games. Like Alice kept dying and over again. Alice has skills that give her speed too. Her S1 gives her speed and it stuns. Her S2 gives her shields and she runs away. You know, she's trying to get vision. That's what supports do. So don't think I'm knocking Alice in any way, but it's just extra, like that much more impressive to me that Crixie was able to win those fights so well early on for herself. Like, yeah, the team didn't win overall, but she wasn't dying early. And in those instances, when you're a squishy mage, that's a win for the mage, in my opinion. So yeah, Eclipse came out strong, winning both games. All right, thank you for the follows, guys. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, Ligma trolling, people were saying. Yeah, she was feeling very confident. He or she, sorry.
She was feeling her. They were feeling themselves.
Yeah,
that's what we'll say. They were feeling it today.
They were, yeah, you can tell. So that's a strong showing for our very first tournament game. It wasn't even 2 hours. They were quick games, man. The games go by pretty quickly. I'm looking. Let's look at the details here.
Oh no, I already backed out of the lobby.
Oh, you backed out. Okay, well, you can kind of see it on the stream a little bit. I'm looking at chat now. People are saying, yeah, Ligma, Lumber, definitely. Of course, Zil got it. The game gave it to Zil because they're algorithms. But yeah, we saw Ligma orchestrating all those team fights, playing super aggressively, making it very scary for the blue team to go anywhere. That's why you saw Cricknack. Like, Cricknack wants to be on the map. He wants to be going places, and he wants to be deleting the opponents. He can't do that when you never know where Lumber is. If he's in a bush, he's going to knock you up with his S2. It's going to be scary, man. It's hard to know. It's hard to know. Very well done. You can see these battle stats here. Who did the most damage? Probably Hayate would be my guess. Hayate or Zil. Actually, it was Crixie. Crixie did the most damage in the entire game. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Did the most damage, 32.8%. The longer the game went, the stronger Morin would get. So we didn't get to see Morin reach the hyper late game, though Hayate also very strong too as the game progresses, though not as good at scaling as Morin. Durak as well, by the way. We haven't talked much about Durak. We need to show Durak some love. Those ultimates, every time they took towers, were very clean. In those team fights, those ultimates were shutting down Crixie's S1. You know, she sends like a fairy out and it returns. It blocks it. Really well done by Durak in those team fights to throw out those ultimates. And then the lasers as well. Like, just so much damage. The auto attacks as well. The combos, Durak, if you guys don't know, his S2 shoots stars that if they collide with a wall or a tower, some structure, they will stun the opponent. So it takes some skill to place them and then to also use Durak's S1. We saw this Durak using it phenomenally. Really good usage of that. You saw it right at the start against the Alice. Alice had to use her sprint. Because she used her sprint in that early fight, that's why she ended up dying a minute later, because she didn't have sprint ready. pretty good, really good game. I'm seeing so many new names in the channel chatting. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for coming through. Feel free to drop a follow if you haven't already. We're doing treats for Douglas, so every follow gives the dog a treat. So let's go ahead and give the dog a... Douglas, come get some treats. We got some followers. We got Lucky Ducky, LMAO, DKX, Flommenly, and ND is me. Thank you guys. 3 treats here for the oh, he's excited. Here you go, Douglas.
All right, so
go.
those were some great matches coming in, both from Eclipse and Mystic Dynasty. It's been a great match to commentate. Ooh, can't talk. Anyway, I've been Tempest. I actually have to go right now.
All right,
it was fun
Tempest.
casting with you.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I appreciate you being here. So Academy League is not starting tomorrow. Today's Saturday. So on Thursday, are you helping with the Thursday? Are you going to be... Is that where people can find you next, is on Thursday?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll probably be around.
All right, thanks, Tempest.
All right, yeah, no problem.
Enjoy
All right.
the rest of your
See
day.
you guys next time.
See ya.
And hey, anyone who's watching right now, be sure to follow the Thepeterpot on Twitch. He's a great streamer, and be sure to give him some love. Also, Anihi also has a Twitch channel that you guys should follow. He is the one running this tournament. And if you guys want, you could also follow my channel. Right now, it's not extremely active, but I promise it will be in the future. Anyway, it's been fun. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, no problem. All right, see you, Tempest. Thanks so much for being here. Yeah. So I'm seeing some questions in the chat. Let me answer these questions here.
Thank you.
Is it... Oh, Katakuru. Thank you for the follow. True for the boy. Here you go, Douglas. There you go. Good dog. Good doggy. All right. Is it best of 3? People are asking. Is it best of 5? What's happening? What is life? So it is best of 2. Best of 2? What? How can you do a best of 2? So it's a season. It's a season, meaning there's going to be 9 weeks of games. So you play games and you accumulate points. So if you win 2 games, you get 3 points. If you win both the games and you're best of 2, you get 3 points. If you win 1 game and your opponents win 1 game, that's 1 point for each of you. If you lose both games, so you get no wins, that's 0 points. So that's essentially how it works. Now, if you guys are wondering when is the next game of the tournament, it's not tonight. Unfortunately, we'll be playing some Arena of Valor with you guys after this segment ends. We'll be playing some Arena of Valor. This is going to be fun. But the next tournament game, they're usually every Wednesdays and Saturdays. All right, this is a 9-week season. We'll be playing every Wednesday and Saturday. However, this Wednesday and this next Saturday, I'll be at a funeral out of town. We had a passing in the family, so shout out to Grandpa Kessler, amazing man. He was the mayor of Warman, and so much energy, such a fun guy. We played a lot of board games. I definitely respected him. So he passed away this past week. So it's sad, but that is a life, and so we're going to honor his life next week. So I will not be streaming on next Saturday. I might be on Wednesday, but we can't do tournament that night. So the next tournament game, if you guys are wondering, when is the next tournament? Let me pull up the schedule for you. Don't go anywhere. We're pulling the schedule right now. The schedule.
The schedule. Brace yourselves to know who's playing next.
So, round 1, we just played Saturday the 14th, right here, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Mystic Dynasty versus Team Eclipse. Team Eclipse came out on top with a 2-0 victory. Next stream will be, it's actually Wednesday. It's not on here. November 25th? Is that right? Yes, November 25th. That's it. November 25th. That's a Wednesday. All right, November 25th, we're going to have Back to the Future against Dummy. Back to the Future against Dummy. And I think these are very high-level teams. Honestly, all the teams are very high level. I shouldn't need to say whether a team is high level or not. They all have we have 24 Conquerors. 24 Conquerors. There's only 50 Conquerors in the server. And we have 24 of them in this tournament. It's phenomenal. We need to give a big shout out to the players, by the way. We shouted out Anihi organizing this tournament, myself and Tempest Tries. Twitch for casting it, but we need to give a shout out to the players. We would not have a tournament if it weren't for the players. So if you're a player in the tournament, we thank you. And if you're a viewer, we appreciate you as well. Thank you so much